the name of our chapter is Human Resources. Now, people, as we know, are the nation's greatest resource. It is the people with their demands and abilities that turn other resources into usefulness. Hence, human resource is considered to be the ultimate resource. And human resources, like any other resource, are not equally distributed over the world. They differ in their educational levels, their age, and even in their gender and sex. Their numbers and characteristics also keeps on changing. The Government of India has a Ministry of Human Resource Development. Now, this ministry was created or formed in 1985 with an aim to improve people's skills. So, this was a general idea or a briefing of this topic. However, in this video, we will be learning about certain important factors, and they are: first, we will be discussing about the distribution of population. Second, we will be talking about the density of population. Third, we will be discussing the factors which affect the distribution of the population. Fourth, we will talk about the population change, and then we will move on to talk about the patterns of the population change, and lastly, we will deal with the composition of the population, or we can say the population composition. So let us start. So the first thing that we will be talking about is the distribution of population. So what do we mean by distribution of population? Well, the way in which people are spread across the earth's surface is known as the pattern of population distribution. Now, more than 90% of the world's population lives in about just 30% of the land surface. And this distribution of population in the world is extremely uneven. Some areas are very crowded, however, there are areas which are sparsely populated or which are very less populated. So, the crowded areas are the South and Southeast Asia, Europe, and Northeastern North America. However, very few people live in high latitude areas, tropical deserts, high mountains, and areas of equatorial forest. Many more people live north of the equator than the south of the equator, and almost 3/4 of the world's people live in two continents. And which are these two continents? They are Asia and Africa. 60% of the world's people just stay in 10 countries, and all of them have more than 100 million people. So this is a general idea about how the population of the world is distributed. Now, after discussing about the distribution pattern, let us talk about the density of population. Well, what do we mean by the density of population? So, population density is defined as the number of people living in a unit area of the Earth's surface. It is normally expressed as per square kilometer. The average density of population in the whole world is 51 persons per square kilometer. The South Central Asia has the highest density of population, followed by the East and Southeast Asia. Average density of population in India is 382 persons per square kilometer. So this is about the density of population. However, what could be the factors which affect the distribution of the population? Well, there are two major factors which affect the population density or the distribution of population. They are namely, first, the geographical factors, and second, the social, cultural and economic factors. So let us discuss about these two in detail. First, we'll talk about the geographical factors. Now, when we talk about geographical factors, we mean that we are discussing about A, topography, B, climate, C, soil, D, water, and E, the minerals. So, let us discuss all these in detail. First, we are discussing about topography. So, people always prefer to live on plains rather than the mountains and plateaus. Why? Because these areas are suitable for farming, manufacturing, and other service activities. For example, the Ganga plains are the most densely populated areas of the world, whereas the mountains like Andes, Alps and Himalayas are very less populated or sparsely populated. So this is how the topography affects the population distribution. Now the second geographical factor is the climate. We know that people usually avoid living in extreme climates, that is places which are very hot or places which are very cold, like the Sahara Desert, the polar regions of Russia, Canada and Antarctica. Now the third geographical factor which affects the population distribution is the nature of soil. If there is fertile soil, it will provide suitable land for agriculture. Therefore, fertile plains such as the Ganga and the Brahmaputra in India, the Huanghe, Changjiang in China and the Nile in Egypt are very densely populated. The fourth factor or the fourth geographical factor which affects the population distribution is the water. Now, people prefer to live in areas where fresh water is easily available. Therefore, the river valleys of the world are densely populated, whereas the deserts have very less population. Now, the last geographical factor which affects the population distribution is the minerals. Now, areas with mineral deposits are more populated. For example, the diamond mines of South Africa, the discovery of oil in Middle East have led to settling of people in these areas in great number. So this was about the geographical factors which affect the population distribution and the population density. Now the second factor that affects these things is the socio-cultural and economic factors. So the social factors includes the areas of better housing, educational facilities, healthcare facilities. So areas which have better housing, education and healthcare facilities are more densely populated. For example, Pune. This is about the social factor. The second factor is the cultural factor. Well, the places with regional or cultural significance attract more people. For example, Varanasi, the Vatican City, Jerusalem are examples of few cultural and regional religional places. The third factor is the economic factor. So industrial areas provide employment opportunities. Therefore, large number of people are attracted to areas where industries are there. For example, Osaka in Japan and Mumbai in India are two densely populated areas. So these are the various geographical and social, economic and cultural factors that have affected the distribution of population. Now after discussing about this, let us move on to talk about the population change. So what do we mean by population change? Well, population change refers to the change in the number of people during a specific time period. So the world population has never been stable. Why? Because it changes in the number depending upon the number of deaths and the number of births. Now, for an extremely long period of human history, that is until the 1800s, the world's population grew steadily but slowly. Large number of babies were born, but they died early too. Now, this was there because there were no proper healthcare facilities. Sufficient food was also not available for all the people. Farmers were not able to produce enough to meet the food requirements of all the people. Now, as a result, the total increase in population was very low. In 1804, the world's population reached 1 billion. Now, 155 years later, that is in 1959, the world's population reached 3 billion. Now, this is often called as population explosion. In 1999, which means 40 years later, the population doubled to 6 million. Now, the main reason for this growth was that with better food supplies, medicines, the death rate was reducing, whereas the number of births were still remaining very high. Now, births are usually measured using the birth rate, which means the number of live births per 1,000 people. And deaths are usually measured using the death rate, which is defined as the number of deaths per 1,000 people. Now, the births and the deaths are the natural causes of population change. The difference between the death rate and the birth rate of a country is called as the natural growth rate. However, apart from these two factors, there is one another factor that leads to change in the population, and that is migration. Migration is the movement of people in and out of an area. Migration is another way by which the population size changes. People may move within the country or between the countries. Now, immigrants are people who leave a country, whereas immigrants are those who arrive in a country. Countries like the United States of America and Australia have gained large numbers by in-migration or immigration. Now, Sudan is an example of a country that has experienced a loss in population number due to out-migration or immigration. Now, the general trend of international migration is from the less developed nations to the more developed nations. Why? Because in search of better employment opportunities and other facilities which are better in the developed countries, where in comparison to the developing on the underdeveloped countries. Now, within countries, large number of people may move from the rural areas to urban areas in search of better employment opportunities, education and healthcare facilities. So this is about, or this was about, the population change, which is affected by three factors, namely the birth rate, the death rate and the migration. Now let us talk about the patterns of population change. Now, the rates of population growth vary across the world. Although the world's total population is rising rapidly, not all countries are experiencing this growth. Some countries like Kenya have high population growth rates because they have both high birth rates as well as high death rates. However, with improving healthcare, death rates have fallen, but birth rates still remain high, leading to high growth rates. However, in other countries like United Kingdom, the population growth is slowing down. Why? Because of both low death rate and low birth rates. So this is about the population change. Now let us talk about the last aspect of this session, that is about the population composition. Now by population composition we mean the structure of the population, or we can say in other words, the composition of a population help us to know about certain things. They are: first, number of males and females; second, about the age group they belong to; third, about how educated they are and what type of occupations they are employed in; and lastly, about their income levels and the health conditions. Hence, the population composition of a country is studied through the population pyramid, which is also called an age-sex pyramid. In other words, a population pyramid depicts three things. First, the total population is divided into various age groups, for example, 5 to 9 years, 10 to 14 years. Second, the percentage of total population is subdivided into males and females in each of these groups. And lastly, the population pyramid also tells us how many dependents are there in the country. Now, there are two groups of dependents. One, young dependents, those are the ones who are below the age of 15 years. And second, the elderly dependents, those are the ones who are aged above 65 years. Hence, the shape of the population pyramid tells the story of the people who are living in that country. For example, the numbers of children below 15 years are shown at the bottom, which reflects the level of births, whereas the size of the top shows the number of aged people, that is, the ones who are above 65 years, and that reflects the number of deaths. So, the population pyramid of a country in which the birth and the death rates both are high is broad at the base and it rapidly narrows towards the top. Now, such a population pyramid tells us that many children are born, a large percentage of them die in their infancy, relatively few become adults, and there are very few old people. Now, this situation is typified by the pyramid shown for Kenya. However, there are other countries where the death rates, especially amongst the very young, are decreasing. Here, the pyramid is broad in the younger age groups. Why? Because more infants survive to adulthood. This can be seen in the pyramid for India. Such populations contain a relatively large number of young people, and which means a strong and expanding labor force. However, in countries like Japan, low birth rates make the pyramid narrow at the base. The decreased death rates allow the numbers of people to reach the old age. So, here we have completed the session.